How's it going, everybody? Combo here. Today we got 5 quick tips with the SH1900 and or the double barrel shotgun for the light class. After a bit of playing now, I can basically say without a doubt, this in my opinion is the best assassination weapon in the game right now. Although I do love the dagger and it has its strengths, the absolute ease of use as well as the ability to simply just have a hit scan weapon that can kill basically every class in the game with relative ease makes this thing very strong. And with that being said, I'm going to show you how to maximize your ability to compete with it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting things out at number 1, we have a very useful reload animation cancel that is going to allow you to output many more shots in a shorter amount of time. Now, because you only get 2 shots with this thing, especially when you're dealing with multiple targets, or if you don't finish a target immediately, sometimes you don't want to run away as that target can be quite low. By canceling the reload animation of this thing, it's going to allow you to have much more uptime and finish off more kills that you otherwise wouldn't have. So, to demonstrate the effectiveness of this, first I'm going to showcase what it looks like if I don't use the animation cancel. So keep in mind, while this weapon is reloading, I am spamming the shoot button, so when the animation is done, that is the fastest I can shoot. So if I have 2 shots, I am spamming the shoot button. As you can see, that is the soonest I can do it. However, we can make this much faster by pressing the swap to button. I don't know what it is on PC. On console, it's going to be triangle or Y. Right when the 2 shells initially get loaded into the shotgun, you'll hear that little click. If you press that right when that happens, no, don't press it too early. It's like a millisecond after you hear that click. You can cut that animation in maybe 30% off. So I'll show what that looks like. Like I said, this is about doing the tech right here. I'm shooting as fast as I can. Nothing, right? But if I do it with the tech, as you can see right here, 2, as soon as I hear that click, bam. As soon as I hear that click, bam. As you can see right there, I'm making that much faster between shots, so I'll do it without it again. Once again, this is without it. As you can see right here, taking much longer, but on this one I'll do it, so bam, bam. As you can see, bam. As I said, don't do it early. If I do it right here, as I said, you just kind of get a little stupid. You're just kind of popping infinite shells out. You don't want to do that. You want to hear the click, and then you want to do that. Very useful, and is definitely going to keep the uptime of your shotgun very high. Next up at number 2, we have what I believe to be the biggest skill gap when using this thing, and that is Hitfire. So you'll see with the reticle on this, the Hitfire is actually very tight. But what you might not know is compared to aiming down sights and hip-firing with this thing, there's basically no difference. But the advantage to hip-firing is you keep your strafe speed. So as you can see right here, if we start at the end and strafe over, as you can see, it takes quite a while to get to the other side. Don't mind the aim assist there. However, if you're not aiming down sights, as you can see right here, we are moving much faster, which allows us to evade shots and just overall be a tougher target to hit. So my challenge to you, if you're using this thing, is to practice not aiming down sights. As you can see right here, the damage is still going to be the same, whether I aim down sights or not. It allows me to be much more maneuverable, as I said. So right here, moving around, I'll show what it looks like aim down sights. So right here, as you can see, if I hit fire, target dies, step back a little bit, hit fire, target doesn't die, right? So at the same distance right here, aim down sights, target still doesn't die. So what I'm trying to say, like I said, there's no difference, but it is undeniable that if you are hit firing, you're going to move faster, and it is going to be tougher for targets to hit you. So as I said, my challenge to you is to move around, especially when you're dealing with heavies, because as I said, this thing can kill every class in the game in 2 shots. And heavies kind of tear you up, so you definitely want to be moving around. Next up at number 3, and this is really going to feed into the hip-fire tip that I just showed, is your aerial gunplay. Now, because this is a shotgun, and most shotguns in the finals do follow this pattern, the double barrel shotgun, or the SH1900, actually does not have any penalties for using it in the air. Now, if you look at the little reticle in front of my screen, right, this little dot with the 4 prongs on the sides, if I jump, you'll see it barely goes out. And what that means is you are not limited in your ability to use this thing in the air, which is really important, as I showed with the hip firing. And if you want to aim down sights, you most certainly can. You can do some pretty cool stuff, and it allows you to be even more maneuverable. So right here, this target, as I said, I'm not losing really any accuracy, so there's nothing wrong with like jumping off zip lines. If you want to use the grappling hook, that's also an option. So just make sure to take advantage of that. and definitely use high ground to your advantage. As I said, you can be like a trapdoor spider and jump on people, and that is certainly something to keep in mind, as this thing allows you to play very aggressively as well as very mobile, depending on basically any ground you want. Next up at number 4, and I'm sorry, I know everyone was waiting for it, or at least those that have experienced it, we have the stun gun. Now, the stun gun in combination with the SH1900 is absolutely absurd. This basically guarantees that you are going to kill the target you hit. Now, this might sound obvious, but you will get killed if you do not do this. Make sure if you're going to stun gun a target, you shoot them from the back. You can do it from the front, but you're going to take a lot of damage and you might risk dying. So as I said, if you stun down a target, they're going to slow down immensely, as you can see right here. Well, the training dummies don't really slow down, but players will lose the ability to aim down sights, which is going to basically, in most instances, lower their ability to kill you. And also they'll be basically standing still, which will allow you to just stand behind them, line up your shot, like for example this dummy, hit him with the stun gun, and it's unfair. I'll be honest with you, it is super unfair. And this works on heavies too. If you stun gun a heavy, let's say this guy was stun gunned, for example, done, like not even a chance. Now of course heavies can kill you pretty easy, especially if they have an RPG. I've been like suicide bombed, like a heavy will just shoot the ground trying to kill me, because they know if they get hit by the stun gun and I'm in the match, they know they're either gonna die or they're gonna take me with them. So just keep that in mind. Use the stun gun. It is absolutely insane, and I promise you will get hate mail. And finally, at number 5, we have the best ability and some equipment recommendations I would give. Now, in my opinion, I believe the best ability to be your choice, right? This thing pairs well with basically everything. I think the most annoying right now, and I do see this potentially getting a nerf in the future, is the invisibility. And that's mostly because of how it pairs with the stun gun. You see, if you're invisible, you can switch to your stun gun and still hit people, which allows you to pop out of the blue, stun someone. Basically, there's no counterplay to it. You kind of just pop out and shoot them. Although I say this in a way, I say this not to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't necessarily like the invisibility as much, because I think you're relying on players to not see you, which to me, you're relying on players not having game sense, which in a lot of instances can get you killed if you don't play your cards right. So if you want the ability to still do that combo, you can use it with the dash and still do this exact same thing. As I said earlier, you can also use the grappling hook, because this thing has no penalty in its aerial combat. So that's something else you can take advantage of. This thing synergizes very well with everything, but if you want to be a complete degen, you can use invisibility and do what I'm doing here, and people are going to hate you. Another thing you can do, and a gameplay loop that I think is very important with this, because it is an assassination weapon, you don't typically want to stay in after you hurt targets. Something I like to do immediately after killing a target is drop a flashbang. And you might say, well, you're going to blind yourself. That's not necessarily true. So what you can do after killing a target, for example, drop your flashbang, and as long as I'm not looking at it, I can be right up on it, and I barely get flashed at all. Something else you can do is lead with a flashbang. So right here, I can slide, turn around like that, he's flashed, and I can kill him, go invisible. His teammates are also flashed, they have no clue where I am. I come up behind him with a stun gun, and you can see right here, I miss my shots and die. But you kind of see what I'm saying, right? You have the ability to flank targets and basically cover your way in and your way out as you have 2 flashbangs, but that's just my take. Finally, you can also use the breach charge, because you don't really have a way to breach buildings, and giving yourself an entrance and an exit can be very important, as you don't have a lot of health and you want to have a way out. Anyways, everyone, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below. This thing is very, very powerful, and even if they nerf it, I still see this thing being very powerful as an assassination tool, especially if you really get to the Hitfire and the aerial combat. If I missed anything, as I said, be sure to let me know down below. It is very likely. I've been really appreciating the support, as well as the comments of encouragement and people letting me know things that I missed. I am very open for suggestions, so just let me know. But anyways, I don't want to hold you guys forever. Once again, I can't thank you enough for the support. And yeah, this has been Combo. And yeah, peace out, everybody. Later.